no plans at all. Evil man's always transcending. Fighter like sheep, swallow everything. Always simpletons or pretending. We got no plans at all. Evil man's always transcending. Follow like sheep.
I'm Lee Camp, and this is your moment of clarity. I've been down to the Occupy Wall Street protest several times in the past week, and one thing that strikes me is that I realize the police are just doing their jobs, but is there not a little voice in each one of their heads telling him or her that it might make more sense to monitor and arrest the bankers and traders and economic rapers making millions while that policeman loses his benefits, loses his house, gets shot at for less and less money each year, gets vomited on by homeless alcoholics for less and less money each year, gets rubbed on by lonesome exhibitionists for less and less money each year? Instead, that policeman is beating down a 19-year-old with a feather in her hair and a henna tattoo because she had the nerve to draw in chalk on the sidewalk a message that said less money to create smart bombs and more money to create smart kids. As he's punching her in the head and screaming, "Put down the fuchsia chalk! Step away from the chalk," while wrenching her arms behind her back, there's gotta be a little part of him, a little part, thinking, wow, I just pawned my grandma's wedding ring so that I could afford to put my kid in daycare, so my wife could work a second job, so we could afford for her father to get the proper care for his Alzheimer's. And it was necessary because Wall Street has sucked this nation dry. But here I am right now putting a chokehold on a teenager because she won't put down the fucking chalk. Maybe my priorities are a little out of whack. 21% of NYPD officers are having trouble with their mortgage, and yet they've been told to arrest peaceful protesters because chalk or signs or speeches through bullhorns might disrupt the social order. But foreclosing on millions of families doesn't disrupt the social order. Sending every job overseas doesn't disrupt the social order. Taking money out of infrastructure and putting it in tax cuts for millionaires doesn't disrupt the social order. We've got collapsing flood levees and bridge buttresses. People are floating by on old mattresses. But those chalk messages, those might truly cause pandemonium. People just freaking out, running through the streets. Ah! Chalk! There was chalk! Did you see the chalk? What do we do? Is there an antidote for the chalk? If only we could somehow trick corporate heads and bankers into drawing something in chalk on the sidewalk, or blocking an intersection, or chanting through a bullhorn, maybe then we could finally get them arrested. That's all it would take. Maybe if it's catchy enough, they would accidentally join in. You know, something like, "Go ahead and call us twats, we have credit default swaps." Maybe then the police would have a reason to arrest those dick rags rather than imprisoning the vegan kid using arts and crafts to try and save the dolphins. But no, we live in a world where not only is greed good, it's enforced by law. Lacking in selfishness is a sin so scary, so threatening to the status quo that the powerful need riot cops and black ops to silence it. I'm Lee Camp, and that's your moment of clarity. Get more at leecamp.net. Also, on today's Moment of Clarity podcast episode, the Yes Men. I get to interview the Yes Men, which they're my heroes. And if you don't know who they are, you're fucking insane. The Yes Men are amazing. So check out that interview at leecamp.net or Moment of Clarity podcast on iTunes. Thanks.
You believe, I believe this right now, right here. Not about us dying in a million years. Stop allowing them to build up your fears. I don't know about y'all. And what you believe, I believe this right now.